So I'm presenting the slides, and once available on the screen at your end, then you can let me know, okay, so that we can start.
Yes.
Can you see? Is it there?
यार ट्राई टू मेंटेन द बायकॉट के ये ऑफिशियल अनाउंस बाद में जय सारे डिमांड्स को मुबशिर के सामने देखिएगा वो फिर जल्दी नाराज हो जाता है ये कुछ डिमांड जैसे कि
Can you see the slide?
ये नहीं है आप स्टार्ट से
Yes, yes, sir. We can
Yes,
see.
sir.
कर लेते हैं एक समर
Okay, there is some background noise from some student. Tell him to keep the mic mute, okay? No background noise, no background sound. Okay. So Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We would like to start today class, and what already mentioned that basically this is tutorial 3. Two already we have covered in the previous weeks, okay? And this is the tutorial which is related to the previous topic what we have covered, and that was thermal stress. We have discussed about thermal stresses and thermal strain and thermal elongation, okay? So basically by tutorial, we mean practice session, so that student could practice within the classroom, okay? And it is practice, or it is by practice you can understand, you can learn, okay? So you will okay practice within this online classroom. Then for each question, I will share the solution, okay? So basically, in this lecture, before we go for practice, just to give an overview of what we have covered in the previous lecture last week. So hope everybody knows who was in the classroom. We have discussed a relation among material constant. If you remember, so far, three material constants we have discussed. One was called modulus of elasticity, one was called modulus of rigidity, and the third was Poisson's ratio. So how the three material constants or material properties could be related, we have seen, okay, in the previous lecture. So that was a relation, okay. Okay, and then after that, what we have done, basically we have defined something we call factor of safety, and this we have explained, okay, what is the significance, what is the importance, okay, why as a designer or as an engineer you need this factor of safety. So you remember we have mentioned it is a factor, it is a number, a numerical value, okay, basically, which will give you the safety, okay, that for given load and given material, what you have selected for a machine element, okay, whether that machine element will be safe or it will not be safe. And if you remember, there were in previous lecture we have solved two numerical, okay, and both were related to this topic which we call factor of safety. And in this you have seen how some data will be given, okay, and then something could be required, for example, size of a shaft, okay, or for example size of a rod, okay, we could be asked to determine for the given load and material, okay. So this is something we have explained, and then two numerical in the previous lecture we have solved. After that, you remember, then we started the discussion on thermal stress and thermal strain and thermal elongation. And if you remember, I mentioned to you that so far what discussion was made with respect to stress or strain or elongation. So that was with respect to external load. Whenever there is external load, you apply on a body. So as a result of that external load, okay, there may be stress, strain, or elongation. You can find out, okay, all the three are any one of these three, okay, depending upon requirement, depending upon data given. Okay, and in tutorial we have seen how we can solve numerical related to stress and strain and elongation in previous cases when the load is not thermal load, it is actual applied load, or it is resistive load, okay. In today's lecture, basically, okay, so basically it was something we have covered. So what is the link? Okay, what is the purpose? I want to go for overview. The purpose of the overview is so that I could refresh in your mind what something we have covered, what something we have discussed, what something we have explained, okay, so that the topic or those topics or that explanation is refreshed, okay, to you. And then after knowing that, okay, and the topic today we want to discuss, and then we can think of, okay, what could be the relation, okay. So basically the relation or the link between previous and today is that what I already mentioned, that we have covered the theory of thermal stresses and strain, okay. So that is something previous lecture. In today, what we want to do, basically same topic, okay? Thermal stress, thermal strain, thermal elongation. But we would like to go for solving numerical problem, okay? Which will be related to thermal stress and thermal strain, okay? And remember, this is very important, students, to keep in mind. Solving numerical problem is something very important, okay? Why we want to teach a theory? Theory of any topic is taught so that you could be in the position that you can solve a real life problem, okay? So this is the importance of theory. Theory is required to give you the basics, the fundamentals, the concepts, the logics, okay, the formulas, okay, the background. And knowing all this, then you will be expected to be able, okay, to be capable, to be in the position to solve numerical problem, a real life numerical problem. Okay? Because civil engineering, okay, so you can see buildings, bridges, okay, and highways. So these are real life problems, okay? How a civil engineering is designing a highway, a bridge, a building. In your mechanical engineering, you can have a lot of things what we already have discussed in previous lectures, okay? Automobile, okay, aeroplane, for example, or even small components. We can start with machine element. We can say shaft, gear, flywheel, spring, okay? So these are basically elements or components which are basically required in real life. In real life, we need a spring, okay? In real life, we need a shaft, okay? So when a shaft is subjected to external load, so what could be the stress, okay? What could be the strain that can be determined, okay? So in the shaft. So this is something very important, okay? If knowing all the theory, okay, everything related to theory, you know. But the problem is when you sit for solving a real life problem, then you don't know how to start with, okay? How to solve. Then this is not something good, okay? So your intention should be, your aim should be, your objective should be, okay, that you should keep yourself all the time capable of solving a real life problem. Because whether it is classroom, so in classroom always be given in the exam, maybe mid exam, maybe final exam, we give basically solving problems, okay? So those problems are somehow related to real life, okay? Not very much real life, but somehow they are related, because basically there is a specific time, let's say half an hour, or let's say 20 minutes, okay, per question. But in real life, you will have to make a number of assumptions, okay? You will have to make use of your experience, okay? You will have to make judgment, you will have to make decisions, okay? So you don't think you, like a king, will be free to do anything you want, okay? As a designer, as an engineer, no, it is not the case, okay? There will be many things unknown, okay? Much data will be not known, or some of the data will be available. Then you will have to look for, okay, what is the relevant data, from where to get the relevant data, okay, what assumptions to be made, okay? So many things will be there. So coming to the point, to make it short, something very important for you, whether you are students or inshallah tomorrow you join a very good and bright practical field, okay? Then you will be expected to solve a numerical real life problem. That's why in today's tutorial, the one and the only intended learning outcome you can see on the slide, and that is the student are expected to be able to solve problem which will be related to thermal strain, thermal stress, and thermal elongation. So just to again keep your, okay, to refresh, okay, you remember in last lecture when we were talking about the thermal stresses, there were in the explanation we have gone through a number of you can say mathematical formulation or mathematical formula, or you can say equation, or you can say mathematical models, okay? Because these are mathematical formulation or formula which you will need, okay, to calculate the quantity. The quantity may be thermal stress. On the top equation, you can see epsilon T. So basically, remember, this is the thermal strength. So this is the relation, okay? So for sure, there should be some relation, okay? And from theory, okay? But we want to study the theory, because from the theory, then we derive a relation, okay? How we will be able, okay, or by what formula or relation or equation, we will be able to find out the unknown quantity. So the top equation, it is giving you the thermal strain, which is given by the symbol epsilon T, okay? And then you remember there is a Hooke's law. What we have discussed already, making use of the Hooke's law, then you can come up with a relation or equation that will give you thermal stress. So on the left side, it is a stress, and this stress, since it depends upon temperature change, therefore you will call it thermal stress. Okay, and then if you remember, we have mentioned that basically strain is because of elongation. Okay, so this strain, how we define strain? You remember, strain is basically change in length divided by original length. So if you put that definition of strain here, then you can get this relation. Okay, where the elongation or change in length will be on left side, and on the right side it will appear. Okay, alpha, del T, and L. What is L? Original length. Okay, and this delta T, so it is because of temperature, but length change will be there in the body when subjected to some temperature difference. Okay, and then again, you remember we have mentioned something about the alpha, which is basically a name given to thermal expansion coefficient. Okay, which is again a material constant, material property, and for a number of material, for known material, this value is tabulated. Okay, so from table you can get this value. And again, in second lecture, okay, what we have seen from Hooke's law again, that this is the elongation, which is again delta, but it is P. Okay, so P is for force, because of resistive force. Okay, whatever elongation could be produced, okay, that is given by delta P. So this is also, if you remember, last week when we were covering tutorial 2. So this was the relation, more or less, in each numerical problem we were using. Okay, this was the equation that was guiding us. Okay, that was helping us. Okay, to find out maybe, for example, stress, or sometime maybe elongation, or sometime you remember the ratio between the area of the two rod aluminum and steel in previous lecture. So just to make it simple, easy, convenient, to the point. Okay, just to list a formula that for this today practice problem you will need. Okay, so the formula are 4. Again, I want to repeat: 1 for thermal strain, 1 for thermal stress, 2. Third is for thermal elongation. Okay, and 4th is for elongation, which is not because of temperature, which is because of load. Okay, so this is the difference between delta T. It is because of temperature, because you can see delta T. What is delta T? Temperature. Delta T, temperature change. Okay, so temperature change may be change. Temperature may increase, temperature may decrease. Okay, and here is okay delta. So delta is written with P, and what is P? You can see P is basically load. So these are things basically should be very much clear to you. Okay. And again, just to bring to your kind notes to us, in previous lecture when we were discussing thermal stress and thermal strain, okay, then 3 different cases we have seen. Okay, you can say 2 or 3 different cases. There could be a case where there will be only thermal strain induced or produced in a body because of temperature rise. Okay, but there will not be any stress. Okay, and what is the logic? I have mentioned. Okay, and there was a case where you can only see that the body, because of temperature rise, is giving only thermal stress. Okay, so only thermal stress could be produced in a body because of temperature rise, and there will be no thermal strain. And there were a number of things, number of cases. Okay, we have seen in previous lecture, and there could be a case. Okay, that basically okay, in the same body. Okay, and there could be thermal stress and there could be thermal strain. So just these are things what we have discussed. Okay, and these are things in today's lecture you will need. Okay, so if you look into the first numerical, okay, so what is given? Okay, you can see basically a steel railroad rails 10-meter long or laid with a clearance of 3 mm at a temperature of 15 degree. Okay, so basically initial temperature is given how much? 15 degree, and the initial length is given. Okay, how much? 10 meter. So initial length 10 meter, initial temperature of the body 3 mm. Okay, sorry, this is the clearance. Okay, and the temperature is 15 degrees. See, at what temperature will the rail just touch? Okay, so and then the second part is what stress would be induced in the rail at that temperature if there were no initial clearance. Okay, and then you remember I mentioned that these are material property. Okay, alpha and E, which is modulus of elasticity. So this will be often given. If not given, so then you can go to the table. Okay, I remember when I was today sitting for this Google Classroom. So I don't know about section, but there was a query from one of the students. Sir, in the assignment, what is value of E? So I told that basically it will be given. If not given, then you look for the material, okay? And for given material, okay, it is tabulated, okay? So basically, in table for known material, properties are given, whether it is capital E or capital G or alpha or yield strength or ultimate strength. So these are all properties, and for known materials, these are tabulated. Now this is the sketch. Okay, you can see the initial is 10 meter, which is the original length. Okay, and then this is the clearance. The clearance is how much? 3 mm, and the temperature is basically 15 degree. Now, what is required? At what temperature will, okay. So how much you heat up, okay? How much you should raise the temperature of this body so that it will start expanding, and then it will cover this clearance, and it will touch the other part of the body. Okay. So you just imagine on the right side there is another reel. Okay. There is another railroad reel. This is the, you can see, okay, on the right side, whose edge is here. Okay. So this is the gap between the two. The gap between the two. So you just imagine you want to increase the temperature of this, and because of temperature increase, for sure this will start expansion. Okay. So it will be expanding until it reaches this point. Okay. Where it has covered the clearance. Okay. And now at this point it is touching the second part. Okay. Now to do this, you will have to give the temperature. Okay. You have to increase the temperature from 15 degree from initial temperature to higher temperature. So what is that temperature that is required? Okay. So this is the explanation. You just take paper and pencil, just you make some attempt. Okay. It is not necessary that you solve the whole numerical. Just what formula is required, what is given, what is required, and then some steps we can carry on. Okay. Just for practice. And the solution is there on the next slide. I will share with the solution. Okay. Okay. Go ahead. Again, the data and the figure is in front of you, but even just for clarification, if something you want to ask, the better you ask. Okay, don't be shy, because the aim should be learning. Okay, it is not just uh, practice. Practice for learning. So for practice, maybe something you don't understand, or maybe something you wish for to be known. Okay, then you can share, you can discuss.
Sir, the change in temperature will be 15 degrees Celsius. Or we will.
No. I mentioned, okay, I repeat it few times that basically if you look into, so basically it is the temperature which is the initial temperature. This body, what you can see, having a length of 10 meter initial. So this 10 meter is the original length, the initial length of this body. And this body initial temperature is 15 degree, okay? 15 degree. Now we want, okay, to increase the temperature so that because of increase of temperature, the body will expand, okay, to the right. So when it will expand, so it should expand unless it will touch this second part, okay, meaning this clearance the body will cover. Okay, how much is the clearance? 3 mm. So how much, that is T2, final temperature is required. Okay, so final temperature is required, and this is the initial temperature.
Final temperature.
I can display the formula. These are the formula, and then you can think of what formulas you basically will need. This is the given numerical figure is there and statement is there. So remember, because this was, if you remember, our very first lecture, okay, very first class in which I had mentioned you that basically our procedure will be once we teach a theory, okay, of a certain topic, then the coming week we will go for a tutorial, and in the tutorial then there will be practice by students. I will help you, I will guide you, and you will go for practice for the sake of learning, okay. So meaning in future again, when I teach a coming week, let's say a coming week I teach a new topic, then the next week then you are coming for tutorial. So at least half an hour you should have given to this to that topic, okay. So that things are although in the overview, okay, I give some comments, some discussion with respect to what was covered, but the best is you also at least give half an hour time, okay, to that topic so that you are ready, okay, for the practice session. Okay. So this is the solution you can see basically. So what is required? Required is that to cover this much gap, okay? This is basically 3 mm. What is 3 mm? You can see 3 mm is basically this clearance, okay? So now we want this body to expand, okay? Also 3 mm. Why? Because if this body is required to cover this gap, since this gap is 3 mm, so for sure the body should give displacement, what you can say, elongation of 3 mm. So in this case, you can say that thermal elongation or thermal displacement will be equal to 3 mm. And already the formula I have shown, okay, in the previous slide, that alpha L del T, okay, and then temperature final. So this is final temperature, this is required, okay. And initially it's given 15, you can see this is the 15, okay. And other, okay, this is the okay, this is the gap, you can say the thermal elongation, okay. And then so one equation, one unknown. What is that unknown? That is final temperature. So this only one equation will give you the temperature. So final temperature is this much. So what is the meaning of this? This means that if you increase the temperature up to 40.64 degree Celsius, then the body will okay, be in the position to expand, and then it will be able to cover this much gap, which is how much? 3 mm. This was first part, okay. Second, if you can see here, it is regarding stress, that what stress would be induced in the rails at that temperature if there were no initial clearance, okay. So meaning the stress is required, okay. The stress is required. So basically, if there is no clearance, okay, there is no clearance. There is no clearance. So basically, this body, okay, is touching with the other part, okay. This is one part, okay, of the rail. On the right side, there will be another part. So they both are, okay, in contact, okay, and there is no clearance. So if this one want to expand because of this much temperature, okay, so it will be blocked, okay, by the other part from the right side, okay. So for sure, for that reason, you know, the stress will be induced, and that stress will be called thermal stress. So what is the magnitude of that stress? Okay, so basically in this case, this equal to this. So this is basically because of load. Okay, because in this case there is resistance. Okay, from the other part. Okay, and because there is resistive force, and because of resistive force, the elongation equal to sigma L by E, which should be equal to this much. This is the because of temperature. Okay, So because of temperature, the body want to expand this much, but the resistive force is not allowing this elongation. Okay, so the motion of body stop, meaning, and when motion of body stop, so there will be a stress. Okay, and this stress because of temperature, so we will call it thermal stress. Okay, and you know the relation I have shown, alpha E del T, where del T is final minus initial. So again, one equation and one unknown, and the one unknown is what? Stress. So stress in this case will be equal to 60 megapascal. This is the solution for this one. Then we can go to the next one. So more or less, if you remember, I have already mentioned this numerical solution, whether this is thermal stress topic or any topic. So once you understand the basics, okay, then the formula, then those will be required, okay, whatever problem is regarding that topic, okay. Just with a little change in the data. For example, in previous, if elongation is required, in next maybe stress is required, in next maybe strain is required, okay. In next maybe some ratio between elongation of one and elongation of another body is required. Okay, so in this case, same, okay, thermal related problem, and you can again see here, okay. So there is basically a body of length 3 meter, and there is some gap or clearance between this right hand support, okay, on the right side there is a support, okay, and this is the gap between. So now in this case, this rod is made of bronze, so bronze is the material, and the initial length is 3 mm, okay. Cross sectional area is given 320 square mm, and this is placed between two rigid walls on the left and the right. You can see as shown in the figure. At what temperature? Okay, sorry, at a temperature of minus 20 degrees C, the gap equal to 25 mm. Okay, when temperature is minus 20 degrees C, then there will be this much gap, a gap between this body, which is made of bronze, and this support on the right side. Okay. Now, what is required? Find the temperature at which the compressive stress in the bar will be 35 megapascal. Okay. So basically, for this much stress, how much? For 35 mega. Okay. In order to, and you can say in other words, you can say, then in order to bring 35 megapascal stress, what is temperature required? Okay. What is temperature required? That will give us stress of 35 megapascal. So again, data is in front of you, or you can say the statement. This is the figure. So just takes a few minutes. Okay. Already numerical one, you have seen the solution. Okay, and the steps and the procedure. So you just take some time. Again, take paper and pencil, and for the sake of learning, try some steps. Okay, maybe right, maybe wrong. No worry, no hesitation. Okay, maybe totally wrong. Forget about. Okay, and the more mistakes you can make, okay, the more learning you can make. Okay, so don't be shy of, don't be afraid of that. Oh, if I make an attempt, so I can be wrong. No, you can be wrong. You can be right. Okay, if right, very right. If wrong, okay, no worry, because by making mistakes you can learn. Okay, by making mistakes you can learn. So just take some time. Okay, I'm here, and then after a few minutes, again, I will share the solution.
Sir, here we will find first the total stress on the body before we increase the temperature.
If you can be, please little louder, because I couldn't hear you properly.
Sir, in this problem, we will find the current stress, compressive stress on the body. Then we will find the temperature at which we need the stress.
Yeah, basically this body, which is made of bronze, okay, so that will be resisting, okay, and when the body is resisting, so for sure there will be stress produced, okay, in the body. So if you want to produce 35 megapascal stress in this body, okay, and this the stress we want to produce because of temperature, okay, that's why it is called thermal stress. Okay, so what will be the temperature required?
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
So again, I will advise every student, okay, every student to have got paper and pencil, and every student has started practicing. Okay, it's in your favor. It's in your favor. And Alhamdulillah, you all are mature. Okay, and you all know what is something good for you, what is something bad for you. Okay, we can only advise you. We can only guide you. Okay, we can only lead you. Okay, that is upon you people. So I cannot see. It's only a trust. Okay. Okay, you are practicing, you are not practicing. You are having paper and pencil, you don't have, I don't know. It's only and only for your learning, for your understanding, for better understanding.
Sir, please show the formula.
Formula, okay. So in this case, you remember, it was one of the cases, okay, what we have mentioned in the theory last week. So basically, you can see here again, okay, there is a gap, okay, between the body and the support on the right side. So in this gap, the body is free to expand. So whenever there is a free expansion of the body, so there will be no stress, okay. There could be strain, okay, because the change in length is occurring. Initial length is 3 meter, and when it is expanding to a new position. So final length is increasing, okay, and then there will be for sure change in length, and because of that change in length, there will be strain. And since this change in length is because of temperature, therefore you will call this strain thermal strain, okay. But once this body is reaching this support, so the support is then not allowing the expansion, okay. So it is not allowing the expansion of the body, and then that is the time the stress you can think of will be induced, will be produced in this body, because you are increasing temperature, and because of increasing temperature, the body want to displace or to elongate, okay. But there is something from right side which is blocking its expansion. So then it will be the case that there will be thermal stress produced in the body, okay. So very simple. These are basically, I start from very simple numerical, because basically remember student, whatever subject you are dealing, okay, you are studying, you are taking, then whether it is classroom problem or it is your practical life problem, inshallah, in future. And the aim and the objective, this is important, listen everybody, and the aim and the objective is to understand something new, like this thermal stress is a new topic for you students, okay. Then if the objective to understand, that always make an attempt to understand something new with simple case studies, okay, with simple, okay, numericals, okay, and then gradually you can go for okay, difficult, or you can say later on complex problem, because it's something new for you and you make use of something complex approach or complex problem, okay. A complex problem is there and you want to apply the fundamental or the theory and that complex problem to understand it for the first time. So it will be something strange, okay, difficult. So always start from a simple a simple case study, simple numericals, because once you get the understanding, okay, then you can make use of that understanding for in future for difficult or complex problem. So here you can see these are the cases we have discussed. You can see here, okay, you remember the theory. So basically in this case, you can say this much elongation the body want to perform, okay, because of temperature. So in this gap, it is free. So okay, and the gap is how much? 2.05 meter. Okay, it is given. And then this much when it is reaching this support, then the support is blocking its expansion. Okay, and the support is, you can see on the right side there is P. What is P? So basically P is a reaction. Okay, what reaction? Reaction from the support. Okay, what for? To block expansion of the body. Okay, so this is P. So this you can call reaction from the support. We can call resistive force offered by the support in order to block the motion, or you can say block the expansion of the body. Okay, and then you can see from this geometry and configuration that this much thermal elongation equal to this elongation plus this, and since by formula we can see, okay, thermal elongation equal to this much, and then the stress. So stress is this one. Again, this is the clearance which is given. So one equation and one unknown. And what is that unknown? Change in temperature. Okay. So this change in temperature will be this much. Since you are given the initial temperature, okay, which is -20, so the final will be 50.6 degree. Okay. So it means that this much temperature, when the final temperature will reach this much value. Okay. Or in other words, you can say when this is the temperature change, which is 70.6 degree, then in that case, in this body, which is made of bronze, thermal stress of 35 megapascal will be produced. Similar type of things you can see. Okay, there is a body. Okay, and then again, body subjected to thermal effects, and some loads are there in this case. Okay, so and again there is some elongation because of thermal effect, and there may be some elongation, or will be elongation because of reaction from the support. And then, okay, so what is given basically, again it is, so a steel rod, in this case the material is changed, it is instead of bronze, it is steel. Cross section area is given like in previous. Okay, and it is placed between, or it is stretched, you can say it is stretched, okay, between two fixed points. So you can see on the left side there is tensile load. Okay, tensile load, and on the right side there is tensile load. Okay, so because of this tensile load, this steel rod is stretched. Okay, and between the two fixed points, the tensile load at 70 degree F is 1200 pound. Okay, so the value of this tensile load, okay, is how much? 1200 pound at 70 degree Fahrenheit. What is required? What will be the stress at 0 degree F? So basically, if you drop the temperature from 70 degree to 0 degree, so what will happen? In this case, temperature is dropping, so body will contract. Okay, so when body is contracting, okay, so then what is the stress which could be produced in that body? This is one part. Second part is, at what temperature will the stress be 0? Okay, so what is the temperature at which the stress in this body will be 0? So two parts are there. Okay, and again the material property, which is alpha, it is given for steel, and the E value is given for steel. Okay, so remember, this is all the time as an engineer, as a designer, you will need. Okay, steel, very common material. Okay, ductile material. Okay, quite often discussed. Okay, and used. So basically, whenever it is a matter of E for steel in foot pound system. Okay, so it is PSI. PSI means pound per square inch. Okay, PSI, pound per square inch. So sometimes it is taken 30 mega PSI. The right value is 29 into 10 power 6 PSI. So this is all the time you will need. Okay, so just keep in mind this one. If it is SI system, then value of E for steel, okay, it is somehow some people take it 200 gigapascal, 200, okay, 200 gigapascal, and some people take it 207 gigapascal. Okay, so both are okay, So this value in both the system for this value of E. Okay, still you remember all the time you will need this value. So this is again the answer. In this case, I have written that basically stress equal to how much? Here you can say 17,995 psi, but the best way is to make it in kilo psi. Okay, so it is 18 kilo psi, kilo pound per square inch. So this is the stress which will be produced in the body when its temperature is dropped to 0 degree from 70 degree F. And the temperature, okay, so the temperature that causes zero stress, okay, the time when in the body there will be zero stress, okay, so what will be the temperature at that time? So that time the temperature is this much, okay. So the answer is there. You just again take 2-3 minutes. Things are interrelated, okay. Same topic, same formula. So just with little change, okay, we move from one problem to another problem. Okay, so this is the solution and same type of formula. So you can see, okay, for the first part, when the temperature is dropped to 0 degree, okay, from 70 degree F, when temperature is dropped to 0 degree, okay. So then what is the stress produced? So then in this case, this you can see from the geometry, okay. This is the geometry or the configuration. So this is del, when this del equal to basically sum of delta because of temperature and because of a resistive force, okay. You can say resistive force or you can say applied force, right? So then this is equal to sigma L by E, which is equal to because of thermal, you know the relation this, and this one already PL by AE, and then one sigma on the left side. So multiply the whole equation by E divided by L. So this will cancel out from here and it will come here, okay? L will cancel with L, E will appear here, and then from here it will cancel out. So it will only appear P by A, okay? Now again look into the data in the statement, okay? So alpha is given, E is given, and then del T because initial 0 and final, initial 70 degree and final 0. So del T will be how much? 70, okay? Del T, and then P is given how much? It is there, 12,000, and area, cross-sectional area, it is also given how much? 0.25 square inch. So one equation again, one unknown, and what is unknown? Stress, and this stress equal to 18 kilo psi, the answer, okay? So this is part 1. For temperature that has causes zero stress, so what is that temperature? Okay. So in this case, basically, when stress is zero, when stress is zero, so this is the case quite often we're discussing, okay, that basically this much thermal elongation on the left side, okay, on the left side the quantity is thermal elongation, okay, and this is what on the right side, this is the quantity which is elongation because of resistive force or because of load, okay. So from the right side figure you can see, okay, from the right side figure, okay, so both are equal, okay, both are equal. Basically the body want, okay, this much elongation, okay, but the support does not allow this much elongation. So basically both will be equal in this case, okay. Then you know the formula for this thermal elongation and then the elongation because of load. So you put their formula and then rearrange, okay. So after rearrangement you can see this T, and this is the final temperature, okay. So this is equal to T equal to 95.46 degree with when the stress in the what is called in the body will be zero, okay. So this again similar type with little change. The numerical, if you look into this figure, it is the same, but data is change, okay. Data is change. In previous, what was mentioned that okay, what will be the stress at 0 degree. Here, what is mentioned? Okay, calculate the temperature at which the stress in the bar will be 10 kilo psi, and second, then the temperature at which the stress will be 0. Okay, so this part is basically figure is the same, but there is a change in the something which is required. So same concept in this case, okay, like previous one. So basically without temperature change, okay. So how you calculate stress? Stress equal to load by area, and then load is given 1200, sorry, yeah, 1200 pound, and cross sectional area it is given 0.25 square inch, okay. So you get this value, okay, which is 4.8 kilo psi, and this is quite less compared to 10 kilo psi, okay, because this is the target, okay. We want this much stress in the bar, okay, and for that we want the temperature. So when the temperature is dropped, okay, the temperature is dropped, so what will happen, okay, so it will increase, okay, the stress to 10 kilo psi. Here you can see from the figure, okay. And then again, like previous case, okay, so the total elongation, what you can see from here, this will be elongation because of temperature effect and because of the load. So the same formula you can apply, and then you know the formula for each quantity you put, and then one equation and one unknown. In this case, the unknown is del T. Okay, so del T you will get 27.59 degree F, and then the temperature required. Okay, the temperature required is basically 40. Okay, so 40. But why 40? Because this is already given. Okay, in previous case it was different. Okay, so 40 minus this temperature change. So this will give you the final temperature, which is equal to 12.41 degree F. This one part. Second part was, okay, what was the second part? Again, like previous, that basically what is the temperature when stress is equal to 0. So again, the same explanation, okay, that basically this much displacement the body want to perform, okay, this much displacement the body want to undergo because of temperature, okay. Here you can see this much, okay, but the reaction, or you can say the support is not allowing this much elongation, okay. So basically these two quantities should be equal to one another, okay, for the case when there is no stress, okay. And then for each quantity you know the formula, and then you rearrange, okay, this equation, and you put the values, so there will be one unknown, that is the final temperature. So final temperature you can see equal to 65.460 F, okay, like previous one. This is a case in which, okay, in previous all what we see, we have seen that basically there is one individual body, okay, and that body basically when temperature is increased or decreased, okay, so it's expanding freely or contracting freely, or maybe there is some resistance, okay, to the motion or expansion of the body. Then what are the stresses or strain, for example, or elongation, okay. But in this case you can see basically there are two parts, okay, which are joined together. One part is made of aluminium, the left side part, okay, and the data is given for this one. And the right side part, you can see it is made of steel, okay, and for this also the data is given. Data means cross-sectional area is given, modulus of elasticity is given, and since it is thermal related problem, so for sure for each material you will be given this quantity which is called coefficient of thermal expansion, okay, and the length is given, okay, for this left side which is aluminium, and for the right side which is steel. So 10 inch and 15 inch. What is required if you look at the statement? Calculate the increase in stress for each segment of the compound bar. So why it is called compound bar? Because it is made of two different material. One is aluminium and one is steel, okay. So it is a compound bar which is shown in the figure. If the temperature is increased by 100 degree F, okay, so this is the increase in temperature, okay, then assume that the supports are unyielding. What is the meaning of unyielding? Meaning they are fixed, okay, they are fixed, they are not yielding, okay, they are not yielding, and that the bar is suitably braced against buckling. You know, buckling means basically since the right support and the left support they are fixed, okay, so this fixed support don't allow the body motion or expansion to the right side or to the left side, okay, because they are not yielding, okay. So if for example there is a chance the body want to buckle means bend, okay, bend to the top or to the right. So there is difference between bending and buckling. At this moment I don't want to explain that one. It is going to buckle, okay, either to the top side or to the bottom side. So that buckling is also braced, okay. So the sentence means that it is meaning the body is suitably braced against buckling. So then in this case, what is the stress which is produced in the body? So same concept. The only thing is now in this case two parts are joined together, okay, and then a compound bar is made of the two bodies, and then this compound bar you can see is held between two supports from left and right. So take few minutes, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. Okay, so I have displayed the solution. You can see on the top, you can see the figure. So basically, this is the original figure, okay, of the compound bar with the data for each rod, whether aluminum or steel, okay. So after temperature increase, what is happening? Okay, you can see the dotted, okay. So basically, the dotted means they want, okay, expansion, okay. So basically, the steel one, which is on the right side, okay, because of temperature increase, what the steel is doing, the steel want to elongate, okay. So the dotted line shows elongation of the steel. The aluminum one you can see, so with this dotted line, okay. So because of temperature increase, for sure aluminum is to expand, okay. So we can show or we can label this expansion as expansion of steel, okay. So delta ST, and this one we can label delta aluminum, okay. And 10 inch and 15 inch, these are the lengths already given for these two sections, okay. Then from, okay, when it is a matter of thermal expansion, because here, okay, you will call it thermal expansion, okay, thermal expansion. It is because of thermal expansion, it want to expand and this want to expand. So whenever thermal expansion, so this is the formula for thermal elongation, and then you apply this formula to steel. So for steel, data is given and you put the data, so you can get this equal to 0.00975. Here should be unit, okay, maybe inch, okay, because if you look into, so area is given and E is given, okay, in inches, okay. So basically here you put the, because it is length, okay, it is elongation, so here you will put the unit, which is inch. The same formula when you apply to aluminium. So for aluminium, you can see, okay, the aluminium, the data is given. We make use of the data, so you can write, or you can have this value of elongation, okay, for aluminium because of temperature, okay. So remember, this is because of temperature in steel, and this is because of temperature in aluminium. And again, you can see the unit is length, inch, okay. Here it is missing, so better you can write inch here, okay. Now for this body, basically, okay, since again, this is the case. In this case, there is no expansion, okay, because you can see basically this want to expand, okay, the steel one, okay, but the aluminium is offering resistance, okay, and the aluminium, so the other is offering resistance, and on the left and the right there are supports, okay. So basically, because of temperature, they want to elongate, okay. They want to elongate, the body want to elongate, okay, the aluminium, the steel, both, okay, but it is not possible. So you can write that basically the elongation in steel, okay, because of load, and the elongation in aluminium because of load, okay, because of reaction, okay, equal to the elongation because of a thermal effect in steel plus the elongation because of thermal effect in aluminium. So if this equation is, because whatever, okay, basically this much elongation, okay, this much elongation the steel want to make, and this one elongation the aluminium want to make, okay. So overall, the compound bar wants to make this much elongation, okay, but this is not allowed. This is not allowed, okay, because the steel is offering resistance, okay, and the aluminium is offering resistance, okay. So this left side equal to right side, meaning no elongation of the body, no motion of the body, no expansion of the body is allowed, okay. Then whether it is because of load, so you can see, okay, PL by AE, which is from Hooke's law. You will put the value for this, which is for steel. Similarly, for this one, it is PL by AE, which is because of resistive force from the aluminium. So you will put aluminium with this, and then because of thermal and because of okay, thermal steel and thermal aluminium. Already here you have got the value. So you put the value, and then here, okay, what is P? So this is P. So you can say P. Here appears P, and here is appearing P. So one is P for steel and one is P for aluminium. So you can write P for steel and P for aluminium is equal to, they are same quantity, okay. They are same quantity. Why same? Because basically same supports, okay. You can see a left support and then a right support, okay. So whatever resistance is given by one support, the same resistance is given by other support. So P is the same in both the cases. So putting in this equation, okay, this P equal to P steel equal to P aluminium, and then one equation, one unknown, and then unknown quantity is basically P. What is P? P is the resistance offered by the support, or you can say the resistive force, okay, or you can say the reaction offered by the support, okay. That doesn't allow the expansion of the body, okay, the displacement of the body, the elongation of the body. Now once force is determined, so you can see for aluminium area, cross-section area is given, okay, and for steel it is given. So when you divide force by area, so you can get stress, okay. So in steel, stress by area equal to this much stress, okay, and in aluminium, load by area equal to this much stress. So this is not the right way, okay. So what is here, for example, because this I have taken from the book, okay, but you can notice down, okay, the limitation. What I'll mention, basically here you should write inch, okay, is the unit of this elongation. Here, since it is load, so you know for load the unit is pound. So here you mention pound, okay, for this load, okay, and then here basically this is not the good way. For example, if I ask you what is the stress produced in steel, and then you say 17,794.56 psi, so it doesn't sound good, okay. Or for example, what is the stress in aluminium, and then you say 13,345.92 psi, so it doesn't. So what you do first, you convert into kilo, and then you round it, okay, the value. So it will be 18.79 So you can say 18 kilo psi. So when I ask you what is the stress produced in strain, and you say 18 kilo psi. So sounds very good, okay, reasonable. And in this again, this is 13,004. So okay, so what you do? So you basically 13 point, so 35, so 13 point, okay, 35 kilo psi. So this is the good way to mention the stress, okay. So this is all about these equations or solution of problem related, okay. So interrelated, okay. All same formula, same concept, say theory. You can go for more practice, okay. One already I have provided here basically. So this is basically the same type what already explained, okay. This is on the left side, one part, on the right side another part, okay. For the right part, what is given? Dia is given, okay. So when dia is given, so you can find out cross-sectional area, okay, pi square by 4. For this, dia is given, so from this area you can find out length is given for left, for right, like in previous, okay. The only thing is here, you can see in the previous, when you compare with the previous, the only thing is here there is, okay, some gap between this support on the left side and this material, okay. So there is a gap. So this is the only difference, okay. This is the only difference. In previous, you can see on the left, on the right, there is no gap, okay. So the body is fastened to the left support here, the body is fastened to the right support here. So this is the only small thing I would just change. So this is okay. So in this case, for what are required, so you will calculate the resistive force and the maximum compressive stress and the displacement, which will be at point C, okay. So this point C. So you try, okay. This is just for practice. So that's all for this tutorial session. More practice you can do at home because we have limited number of hours for class, okay. And also today is a tutorial, what is called sorry quiz. So if you have some question, better you can ask, okay. Otherwise we will go for tutorial.